Listening test instructions. The listening test is about 50 minutes. There are 6 parts in listening test. You will have about 6 minutes to listen to each passage and answer the questions. The passage will be played once.
Hey, you look concerned. What's on your mind?
The final exam. I'm not fully prepared yet.
Well, don't worry too much. You still have 3 days.
Yeah, but 3 days will fly past in a wink.
Well, you still have time to cram things in your brain anyway.
Question 1. Why is the man looked worried?
You will hear a conversation in 3 sections. You will hear each section only once. After each section, you will hear 2 or 3 questions. You will hear the questions only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Hi, Chef. Welcome to the greenhouse. I heard you wanted to talk about the herb situation for the upcoming food event.
Yes, thanks for meeting me on short notice. I'm really concerned because we're running low on fresh herbs, basil, thyme, and mint especially. The event is just a week away, and I need enough to prepare the dishes.
I understand. The herb beds have been struggling lately due to some pest issues and the recent weather fluctuations. That's slowed down growth more than usual.
That's tough. I was counting on your garden's harvest to highlight local, fresh ingredients. Do you think there's any way we can boost production or find an alternative source quickly?
Let me check what we have in the greenhouse first. Maybe there are some faster growing plants we could harvest or cuttings we could propagate immediately. Also, we might coordinate with other community gardens nearby for extra supplies.
That sounds promising. I want to maintain the local theme, but can't compromise on quality or freshness. Let's brainstorm solutions.
What does the coordinator not commit to doing? What underlying issue does the greenhouse face? Which challenge is shared by both chef and coordinator?
You will hear the second section of the conversation shortly.
So first, I can identify some herb plants that are nearly mature and ready for harvest now. They might not be large, but it's a start.
Great. Even smaller amounts will help. What about starting some cuttings now that could be ready in time for the event?
That's an idea, but with only a week left, we won't get a full mature plant from cuttings. However, we could try hydroponic growing techniques to accelerate growth for some herbs.
Hydroponics? How fast can that work?
It can speed up growth compared to soil planting by a few days. If we set up some hydroponic trays with basil and mint cuttings immediately, they could yield usable leaves within a week.
I like that. Meanwhile, can you help me connect with local farmers or other gardens to source any excess herbs?
Absolutely. I have contacts in a couple of urban farms and farmers markets. I'll reach out today to check availability. Also, maybe we can encourage volunteers to help harvest and maintain plants faster.
Perfect! Between faster growth and external sources, I'm hopeful we can cover the shortage.
What can be inferred about hydroponics in this context? Which statement would the chef most likely agree with? What does the coordinator not suggest?
You will hear the third section of the conversation shortly.
To summarize, I'll start harvesting the nearly mature herbs today and set up the hydroponic trays for faster growth.
Meanwhile, I'll revise the menu slightly, prioritizing dishes that use herbs we can guarantee and prepare backups in case of shortfalls.
Good call. I'll also contact the other gardens and farms today and arrange pickups if they have surplus herbs.
What about pest control? You mentioned pests earlier. Could that affect the hydroponics or the new plants?
For hydroponics, pests are less common, but I'll monitor closely and use organic treatments if necessary. For soil plants, we'll use safe natural pest deterrents so nothing compromises quality.
Excellent. I appreciate your proactive approach. Let's keep communication tight. Maybe daily updates on herb availability?
Agreed. I'll email you progress reports and any new developments. Together, we should pull this off.
Thanks. I'm relieved. With your help, the event's herbs will shine despite the
What best describes the chef's fallback plan? Why is the chef adjusting the menu?
You will hear a conversation followed by 5 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Excuse me, that looks really amazing. What are you painting there?
Oh, hi. Thanks a lot. I'm working on a 3D chalk art piece. It's supposed to look like there's a deep hole in the ground with a waterfall flowing out of it.
Wow, that sounds incredible. I can already see the waterfall part starting to come together. How do you even get it to look so realistic on a flat surface?
It's all about perspective and shading. You have to figure out where the viewer will be standing and then distort the image accordingly. From the right angle, it tricks the eye into seeing depth where there is none.
That must take a lot of skill and patience. How long does it usually take you to finish a piece like this?
For something this detailed, it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours, sometimes more. I usually work in stages, sketching, then adding layers of color, and finally, the details.
Do you do this every day? It seems like a tough job, especially working outside like this.
Yeah, I try to do it as often as I can. The weather plays a big role, though. If it rains, all the chalk washes away. But I love the freedom of working outdoors and seeing people's reactions.
I bet kids must love it when you finish. It's like bringing art to the streets in a fun way.
Exactly. That's the best part. Seeing people stop, take pictures, and sometimes even interact with the art. It makes it feel alive.
Well, keep up the amazing work. I'll definitely come back to see the finished painting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hope you have a great day.
You too. Good luck with your painting.
What feature makes the chalk art appear three-dimensional? What can be inferred about the artist's process? What did the woman find particularly impressive early in the interaction? Why does the artist enjoy working outdoors despite its challenges? What makes the art appear deeper than it really is?
You will hear a conversation followed by 6 questions. Listen to each question. You will hear the question only once. Choose the best answer to each question.
Good morning. I understand you're here about an injury. Can you tell me what happened?
Hi, yes. I'm an aerialist with Circling Air. A few days ago, during a rehearsal, I missed a grip while transitioning on the silks and landed awkwardly. I didn't fall far, but I twisted my shoulder and it's been sore ever since.
I see. Is the pain constant or does it only occur with movement?
It's mostly when I lift my arm above shoulder level or do any rotation. It's not sharp, but it feels tight and strained.
That sounds like a minor rotator cuff strain. Have you had any swelling or bruising?
A little swelling the first day, but no visible bruising. I've been icing it and trying not to overuse it.
That's a good start. Ice for the first 48 hours is full. After that, applying heat might promote blood flow and healing. You'll also need to focus on gentle mobility exercises. Have you done any stretching or strength work since the injury?
Not yet. I wasn't sure what was safe.
Understandable. For now, I recommend pendulum swings and assisted arm lifts. You can use a stick or towel to help guide the arm without straining the muscle. Avoid overhead lifts or hanging work until the pain subsides.
That makes sense. When do you think I can resume training?
If recovery goes well, maybe in 10 to 14 days, but only light activity at first. You'll need to rebuild strength gradually. I'll show you a few resistance band exercises to start with once mobility improves.
Okay, and would massage help?
Yes, targeted massage around the shoulder blade and upper back can relieve tension, but avoid direct pressure on the inflamed area for a few more days.
Got it. I really want to be ready for our performance next month.
If you follow the rehab plan carefully, you should be able to perform. Just listen to your body and don't rush back into advanced aerial moves too quickly.
Thanks so much. That's really helpful.
You're welcome. I'll email you the exercise sheet and we'll schedule a check-in next week.
What triggered the shoulder issue? What kind of pain does the performer describe? What is the physiotherapist's preliminary diagnosis? How did the performer initially respond to the injury? What must the performer do before starting resistance exercises? What kind of massage does the physiotherapist recommend?
You will hear a news item once. It is about 1.5 minutes long. Then 5 questions will appear. Choose the best way to complete each statement from the drop-down menu.
Travelers frequently face delays at airports when severe weather conditions disrupt normal operations. Heavy rain, thunderstorms, strong winds, fog, or snow can all cause significant interruptions to flight schedules, affecting passengers worldwide. When adverse weather hits an airport, safety becomes the highest priority. Air traffic controllers often need to increase the time between flights to ensure safe landings and takeoffs. Low visibility, slippery runways, and turbulent winds create challenging conditions for pilots, leading to temporary ground stops or diversions. As a result, many flights may be delayed by several hours or even cancelled entirely. These disruptions cause longer waiting times at check-in counters, security checkpoints, and boarding gates, creating frustration among passengers. Airlines typically advise travelers to check their flight status before heading to the airport and to prepare for possible delays. Airport authorities and airline companies usually coordinate closely during these times to manage the situation. Extra staff members are deployed to assist travelers with rebooking flights or finding alternative routes. Airports often provide additional services, such as food vouchers, lounge access, or accommodation arrangements for passengers stuck due to cancellations. Weather-related delays can also impact connecting flights, leading to further disruptions for passengers traveling on multi-leg journeys. Therefore, flexibility and patience are essential for those affected. While delays due to severe weather are inconvenient, they are necessary to ensure the safety of passengers and crew. Weather conditions typically improve after some time, allowing flight operations to return to normal. Travelers are encouraged to stay informed through airline websites, airport announcements, and weather updates, planning ahead, allowing extra time for travel, and remaining calm can help make these situations more manageable.
You will listen to a 2 minutes video. Then 8 questions appear. Choose the best way to answer each question.
Welcome everyone to today's panel on emerging threats in data privacy and protection. We have with us 3 experts, David, Mia, and James. Let's start with a broad question. What are some of the newest threats we should be aware of?
Thanks. One of the biggest emerging threats is ransomware becoming more sophisticated. Attackers aren't just locking data anymore. They're also threatening to leak sensitive information if demands aren't met. This double extortion tactic puts immense pressure on organizations to comply.
Absolutely, David. Adding to that, with the rise of Internet of Things devices, we see a huge expansion in attack surfaces. Many IoT devices lack proper security, making them easy entry points for hackers to infiltrate networks and access private data.
And don't forget about AI-powered attacks. Hackers are now using AI to automate phishing schemes and create highly convincing deepfake audio or video to manipulate employees into revealing passwords or sensitive info.
That's concerning. How should companies prepare for these evolving threats?
The key is adopting a proactive security mindset. Regularly updating software and firmware on all devices is crucial. Also, conducting ongoing training for employees to recognize social engineering attempts can reduce human error, which remains the weakest link.
I agree. Additionally, companies should invest in advanced threat detection systems that leverage AI themselves to spot unusual behavior quickly and respond before damage occurs.
And data encryption cannot be overstated. Encrypting data both in transit and at rest ensures that even if attackers get access, they can't easily exploit the information.
Excellent points. Lastly, what role does legislation play in data protection?
Laws like GDPR and CCPA have pushed companies to take privacy seriously. However, as threats evolve, legislation must also adapt to cover new technologies and ensure accountability.
Yes, compliance is just the baseline. True security requires going beyond regulations to build resilient systems.
And international cooperation is vital, since cyber threats don't respect borders.
Thank you all for your insights. This discussion highlights how dynamic and critical cybersecurity has become.
You will hear a report once. It is about 3 minutes long. Then 6 questions will appear. Choose the best way to answer each question from the drop-down menu.
In recent years, there has been a growing trend of people choosing to live in vans or other mobile vehicles, a lifestyle known as van life. This movement has attracted attention worldwide for its unique approach to housing and freedom. Advocates of van life often emphasize the benefits of mobility and financial freedom. Living in a van allows individuals to travel freely, avoid the high costs of traditional housing, and reduce their environmental footprint by adopting a minimalist lifestyle. Many van lifers speak of the joy in waking up to new views every day and the simplicity that comes with owning fewer possessions. However, this shift in housing preference has sparked diverse opinions about its broader social and economic effects. Some urban planners and housing experts argue that the rise in van life highlights serious problems in the housing market, such as affordability crises and shortages of adequate living spaces. For many, choosing van life is not just about freedom, but a necessity born out of expensive rents and limited housing options. In this sense, the popularity of van life could be seen as a symptom of systemic issues in the housing sector rather than a purely lifestyle choice. On the other hand, critics worry that the glamorization of van life can overlook its challenges. Living in a van can mean limited access to basic amenities like running water, consistent electricity, and reliable internet. There are also concerns about safety, privacy, and legal restrictions in urban areas where parking overnight is regulated or prohibited. Some city officials express frustration as the increase in van dwellers can constrain local infrastructure and raise questions about public space use. Moreover, the rise of van life culture has influenced the way people think about home ownership and permanence. For some, it challenges the traditional notion of settling down in one place, opening up new conversations about what home means in modern society. It pushes the boundaries of conventional housing norms by blending mobility with living space, suggesting a future where flexible and unconventional housing might become more accepted.